Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, doing the preview for the Mark Magsayo versus Ray Vargas Showtime card that's taking place this Saturday, July 9th. And you got a pretty good card coming at you, actually. So first, there's Showtime prelims that are taking place. It's going to be on the YouTube channel, and that's headlined by Rashidi Ellis making his PBC debut. He's taking on some unknown guy, but Ellis hasn't fought since he defeated Alexis Rocha back in, I think, October of 2020. So it's nearly 2 years off. He's finally returning and making his PBC debut. So I'm expecting him to get a win in his return. Then, so now the main card on Showtime that's taking place, it's being kicked off with a lightweight contenders bout as undefeated contender on the rise, Frank Martin. He's 15-0, 11 knockouts. He's taking on Jackson Mariñez. And if you remember Jackson Mariñez was a guy that should have got a decision over Rolando Romero, and he got robbed in that fight. And he was riding high after that. And then he ran into Richard Comey and got his ass whipped as he got knocked out. I believe that was earlier in the year, last year. And he got his ass whipped, got knocked out in the 6th round of that fight against Comey. So, for Frank Martin, this is a big fight to see where he stands at lightweight. Lightweight's a loaded division, and to throw your name into the hat is a big deal. And Martin has an opportunity to throw his name in the hat with some pretty good fighters, you know. So a win, and depending on how he beats Mariñez, will really go a long way. So I'm predicting Martin to win. I haven't seen him fight. I don't know how. He hasn't beaten anybody of note yet. But to put him in a spot like this, I think he's being expected to win, and I think he's going to get it, and we'll see how he gets it and go from there to see how good he really is. So that's a pretty good fight to kick off the card in the lightweight division. The co-feature is going to be a banger, though. A featherweight eliminator, Brandon Figueroa making his featherweight debut against Carlos Castro, who's returning to featherweight. Castro over the last few years has went back and forth between featherweight and junior featherweight 122, but he seems to have more power at 126. His win over Julio Ceja, I believe it was it him that beat Ceja, or I'm sorry, I think he beat somebody else, but his success prior to his loss to Luis Neri, which was the first loss of his career, his success, more notable success, was at 126, and his power has been there. So he's returning there following a loss to Luis Neri earlier this year at 122, and he's going in against Brandon Figueroa, who's making his featherweight debut and is also coming off a loss last year to Stephen Fulton Jr. So both of these guys, this is a crossroads fight for both of them to try to throw yourself in the mix, in the serious mix at 122, and I believe the winner's probably going to get the winner of Magsayo and Vargas, because they're all PBC guys, and that's huge right there. It's a huge payday and accolade for the winner here, and I can't wait to see Figueroa and Castro. I think they're going to be throwing bombs. I think Figueroa, he was always a big guy at 122. I think he's coming in angry from the loss to Stephen Fulton, because he didn't lose by much, and that was his first loss. And I think he's going to beat Carlos Castro, but I think it's going to be an all-out war. And I think I think Castro's a live underdog. He's also coming off of his first loss, and it was a close one, a split decision to Luis Neri. So these guys are going to throw caution to the wind, and they're going to chuck, and it could end by knockout, could be a decision. I'm predicting Figueroa to get the win, though, but it's going to be a barn burner, fight of the year candidate, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. Figueroa Castro in a featherweight eliminator. But the main event is going to be a good one too. Undefeated Filipino WBC champion Mark Magsayo, coming off of his upset majority decision win over Gary Russell, is making a mandatory defense against undefeated former 122-pound champion Ray Vargas. Vargas has been the mandatory challenger since he moved up in weight, and waited. He shook off a near 2-year layoff and defeated an opponent late last year. It was actually over 2-year layoff, and now is going to Magsayo. This is going to be a good one. Go back and check out my breakdown video that I released a couple weeks ago on this fight. I'm picking Vargas to win a decision here, but I think Magsayo's a live underdog. I just think Vargas is better built for a 12-round fight. He throws more punches. Magsayo, I've seen, you know, even in his most impressive wins, which were against Russell and Julio Ceja, he doesn't win a lot of rounds. You know, he's not a dominating the rounds type of guy. He doesn't throw a lot of punches like his opponent. Like Julio Ceja was beating him convincingly when he knocked out Ceja in the 10th round. And Gary Russell came back with one arm in the second half of the fight and almost beat Mark Magsayo. So I think Magsayo's you know, in there with a guy that throws a lot of punches, that can box also, a taller guy like Vargas, and I think Vargas is going to use all that to his advantage and walk away a 2-division world champion and put himself at the top of featherweight. So we're going to see what happens. That's this Saturday, July 9th on Showtime. Vargas and Magsayo for the WBC featherweight title, Figueroa versus Castro in a featherweight title eliminator, and then Frank Martin against Jackson Marinez in a lightweight contenders bout to see if Martin's the real deal or to see if Marinez can bounce back and throw himself back into the mix. So we'll see what happens. That's Saturday, July 9th on Showtime. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave me a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.